Welcome to PrimeScoreX. In this lesson, we are breaking down capital markets for the SIE exam. The main idea is simple. Capital markets connect investors who supply capital with issuers that need capital. Your goal is not to memorize isolated words. Your goal is to understand how the concept works inside the securities industry. This matters because SIE questions rarely test concepts in a vacuum. They often describe a market participant, a product, a customer, a firm action, or a regulatory situation. When you understand the purpose of capital markets, the answer choices become easier to compare. Start by separating the key terms. For this topic, pay attention to issuers, investors, securities, and capital formation. The SIE often rewards candidates who can recognize a term and then connect it to the correct function, risk, document, or rule. When a question tests capital markets, ask 4 questions. Who is involved? What is happening? What concept is being tested? And which answer best fits that concept? This approach keeps you from chasing every extra detail in the STEM. The main distinction to remember is this: capital raising. Also remember that risk transfer. SIE distractors often sound familiar, but the correct answer depends on the exact category described in the question. A typical scenario gives you a few facts and asks for the best interpretation or action. Do not start with the answer choices. First, classify the situation. Then connect it to the rule, product, participant, or market function being tested. Do not treat capital markets as one place. Think of them as a system of participants, products, venues, and rules. If an answer choice changes the role, the market, the customer, or the rule, it may be using familiar language in the wrong context. Even when the topic looks technical, the SIE often has a compliance lens. Ask which answer supports fair dealing, accurate disclosure, proper supervision, or investor protection. That lens is especially useful when 2 answer choices seem close. Use this memory cue. Capital markets move capital through securities. A good cue is short enough to remember, but meaningful enough to guide a practice question. When you see this topic again, return to that cue before selecting an answer. In practice questions, do not only ask whether you got the answer right. Ask why the correct answer is correct and why the other choices are wrong. That is how you turn capital markets from passive knowledge into exam-ready understanding. Quick review. You should be able to define the topic, identify the parties involved, explain why it matters, and recognize the common trap. If you can do those 4 things, you are studying in the way the SIE actually tests. The final takeaway is that capital markets is part of a larger securities industry map. Do not memorize it as an isolated definition. Connect it to products, customers, firms, markets, and rules. That is the PrimeScoreX way to build readiness with control.